back, everyone. A Rhode Island mom is on a crusade to have schools teach about dating violence after her own daughter, Lindsay, was murdered by a jealous ex-boyfriend. Thanks to this mom, all middle schools and high schools in Rhode Island now teach dating violence in their health classes. But she's not stopping there. Ann Burke joins us now from Providence to talk more about the Lindsay Burke law. Good morning to you, Ann.
Good morning, Gretchen. Thank you for inviting me on your program.
And of course, our hearts go out to you for the loss of your beautiful daughter. She was only in her young 20s when she was killed. But now you decided to take action to make sure that other kids, not only in Rhode Island, but all across the country, understand the ramifications of dating and possible violence. What are you doing to make sure that this is taught in health classes all across the nation?
Well, Gretchen, it's been a process, but we've worked together with the Rhode Island Attorney General Patrick Lynch and his association, the National Association of Attorneys General. And also we've teamed up with the Liz Claiborne Corporation and the National Foundation of Women Legislators. Together we work as a team to try to get Lindsay's law passed in other states. And so far we've been a little bit successful. Nebraska's Attorney General John Bruning got the Violence.mpg Act successfully passed in Nebraska this past summer, and in Ohio the Tina Croucher Act was passed with the help of their state legislators, as well as an organization called MAID that we co-founded with Liz Claiborne. It stands for Moms and Dads for Dating Abuse Education, and it works very closely with the state legislators and the attorneys general in our other states.
Right. Well, you say that in health classes they're already teaching about sex education and sexual harassment and things like that, that this is a necessary component and part of a process for our young people. But what are some of the tips that are taught now in the classroom that could potentially save lives?
Well, and I know it does. As a matter of fact, we teach a very developmentally appropriate curriculum from grades 7 through 12, so that we start out teaching about gender stereotyping and what that has to do with abuse. And then we provide information on not only the definition of what dating violence is, but also the warning signs. And in high school, we go in depth about the dynamics of an abusive relationship called the cycle of abuse. We also provide information to students about the effects on the victim and why it's so difficult for them to leave that type of relationship, as well as providing them with the knowledge and skills to help themselves and how to respond appropriately to their friends.
And so we've seen some of this play out with celebrities in the national media, which I know is unfortunate, but may help this cause for young people who may look at them as role models. You talked about warning signs. What would those be?
Well, the warning signs are varied, but they are mostly the controlling behavior, the isolation that's set up so that the victim becomes more isolated from friends and family, the constant calling, texting, IMing to control their whereabouts, the victim changing either their dress or their makeup, as well as extreme jealousy. The abuser is jealous of anyone and everyone that the victim has any association with. The very quick involvement as well. They come on like gangbusters, sweeping you off your feet, and you think that they're your knight in shining armor. And unfortunately, victims are unable to see the warning signs early on in the relationship.
Well, hopefully parents will be able to see some of those, and this is a wonderful program. Ann Burke, thank you for joining us today. We hope it becomes mandatory in all schools across the country.